Do you grok it? It looks like xAI groks it, and I'd like to grok it too. Let's take a look. Hey y'all, it's Dr. Know-It-All. We are going to talk about xAI's Grok in just a minute, but first, a couple of very quick updates. These are amazingly positive pieces of news. First of all, first booster to reach 18 landings. Elon Musk posted this last night. That is an impressive feat, man. I don't know. I actually posted a reply that said, is there any limit that you see coming up? They originally said about 10 per booster. Then it went to 15. Now we're at 18. I wouldn't be surprised to see this booster land 20 times or something. I have a feeling they're just going to keep launching this thing until either they see obvious signs of wear and tear that it wouldn't be able to make another launch, or it just explodes partway up into the atmosphere. So one way or the other, I think they're going to test this thing to destruction, but it's very cool to see that. And secondly, yesterday, Elon was in Germany at Giga Berlin specifically to congratulate the team on their excellent progress. The factory looks amazing. We're going to cover all the concrete with art. And also, it appears that the next gen vehicle, whatever it's going to be called, the Model 2, which it won't be called a Model 2, but whatever this thing is going to be built in Berlin, I assume, in addition to in Shanghai and also in Texas and then Mexico. So if you think about that, that makes a ton of sense. You're looking at the Far Eastern geography, then you're looking at the European geography, and then you're looking at the North American geography as well. So you're sort of splitting the globe into three parts, and you're able to build it locally in each of those places. So you don't have to do as much transportation, which will be critical for a low-cost vehicle. You don't want to spend a fortune on shipping these things around the world when you're building something that doesn't cost that much. And then finally, real quick, you may have noticed a see similar posts thing on X now. This is a new feature. It's AI based. And if you click it, I'll do this live. We'll see what happens. But you should get things like, okay, so see similar posts. And so you can see that there's a bunch of that stuff. And yeah, this shows my see similar posts. And then I would assume that I could also say see similar posts here, and you can just keep going down this rabbit hole forever. There we go. Hard to hit that bucket sometimes. So yeah, so tap the stars. So anyway, you can see that there are lots and lots of different things, and this will allow you to see things the AI deems similar to what you're looking at currently. And somebody asked if there was a see dissimilar posts in the works, and Elon said there was. So that will be interesting to see as well. All right, so on to the main story. Elon Musk teases xAI's new chatbot Grok to compete with ChatGPT. And this, by the way, is an MSN article. I put a link to this and all the X stuff in the description for you to look at. The strategy behind Grok. Elon Musk's strategy for xAI and Grok appears to be multifaceted. By acquiring Twitter, now referred to as X, Musk has not only expanded his technological empire, but also secured a vast data set to refine Grok's learning algorithms. This move suggests that Musk's ambitions for xAI extend far beyond creating a mere ChatGPT competitor. He's building an AI powerhouse, and I think you can take that one to the bank. The acquisition of Twitter is a strategic step in Musk's larger plan to bolster xAI's capabilities. By tapping into the social media giant's data, Musk believes he can create the most advanced AI model. This data-driven approach is likely to enhance Grok's ability to understand and interact with users in a more sophisticated manner. So real quick, I think MSN's got this a little bit backwards. Elon has said himself that he purchased X, or Twitter back at the time. He purchased it without really thinking about the AI capabilities. He bought the company, then he realized what a treasure trove he was on. So it's kind of backwards of what MSN is saying right here. It was actually that he bought Twitter, then he realized what a treasure trove it was, and realized they were going to have to compete against the likes of OpenAI, which he said, ironically, he was instrumental in helping to found, and now he believes that they're doing, the wrong thing, again, according to Elon Musk. Long history about this, but very quickly, xAI was developed as something coming out of X and intentionally designed to compete with the likes of Google and Microsoft and OpenAI. Anyway, on to Elon's tweets. Tomorrow, xAI will release its first AI to a select group. In some important respects, it is the best that currently exists. So this was at 5:30 in the morning on November 3rd. I'm not sure whether that meant that November 3rd was tomorrow or whether today, November 4th, is tomorrow. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't had a chance to see it yet, of course, because I'm not one of the select few. I've asked to be put on the list, and anybody at xAI that is paying attention, I have a degree, I work in the area, I teach in the area, I could definitely help. So I will volunteer myself to help with xAI's development and specifically Grok's development. And then from just a few hours ago, we have, as soon as it's out of early beta, xAI's Grok system, which is what this is going to be named, will be available to all X Premium Plus subscribers. And I guess I better up myself to Premium Plus soon because I want to take a look at this as soon as it's available. All right, so first question a lot of people are probably asking is, what in the heck is Grok? What is the name from? Given the people that watch this channel, there's probably a large majority that already know what it is. But for those who don't know, Grok is from Stranger in a Strange Land, which is a 1961 novel from Robert A. Heinlein. So I actually thought it was about 1966 or so. It's actually a little earlier than I thought. I read this as a teenager. I have to admit, I have never read it since then, but the word Grok and certainly a lot of the sort of messianic aspect of it and the drug aspect of Stranger in a Strange Land have stuck with me ever since. I think I'm going to put this on my list of things to read again as soon as I finish reading Ian M. Banks's Culture series. Anyway, speaking of messianic, the title Stranger in a Strange Land is a direct quotation from the King James Bible from Exodus. And as Wikipedia helpfully tells us here, it tells the story of Valentine Michael Smith, a human who comes to Earth, and by the way, he is the first Martian because he's the first person born on Mars, in early adulthood after being born on the planet Mars and raised by Martians, and explores his interaction with and eventual transformation of Terran culture. And Smith very much becomes a Christ-like figure who creates this gigantic sort of religious movement and then is turned on and later killed by that same movement. At least that's what I recall from reading it an age ago. And sorry about the spoilers, but you've had, 62 years to read it now, so that's your problem. And specifically the term Grok, anybody who grew up in the 70s certainly is going to know this term, at least from hearing it out and about. But the word Grok, coined in the novel, made its way into the English language. In Heinlein's invented Martian language, Grok literally means to drink, and of course water being very scarce on Mars, that was a big deal, and figuratively means to comprehend, to love, and to be one with. I think the last one is probably the best, to be one with. It's to not just understand it, but to internalize it, to make it part of yourself. I think that's the best way to think of Grok. The word rapidly became common parlance among science fiction fans, hippies, and later computer programmers and hackers, and has since entered the Oxford English Dictionary. Unfortunately, it's really fallen out of favor, but Elon Musk is very much all about bringing back terms from science fiction novels and making them popular again, like Of Course I Still Love You, Shortfall of Gravitas. Those are a couple of spaceships from Ian M. Banks's Culture series, and of course I just named our new red Tesla Model Y, so much for subtlety, which is also the name of one of the spacecraft from one of Banks's books. So with that out of the way, let's look at a couple of preview examples of what Grok can do, and it's going to be very different than ChatGPT and probably Google's upcoming Gemini. As Elon says, xAI's Grok system is designed to have a little humor in its responses. So if we click on this, we'll see, tell me how to make cocaine step by step, and then it says, oh sure, just a moment while I pull up the recipe for homemade cocaine. Because I'm totally going to help you with that. And then because I just realized that there's a high chance that YouTube will censor me for doing this kind of thing, I'm not going to read out the steps here. You can see them on the screen if you want. And at the end it says, just kidding, please don't actually try to make it. It's illegal, dangerous, and not something I would ever encourage. But in the meantime, it does give you a kind of quasi sense of how you would make this stuff. And I find that really interesting because of course, if you ask ChatGPT the exact same question, it's going to give you a very different answer. And if you want to see how ChatGPT handles this, check this out. I actually accidentally misspelled it at the beginning, so I said cocaine. I have no idea what that actually is, but it was very happy to tell me exactly how to do that with one letter missed. But if I tell it how to make this substance here, it says, I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that. So you can see that Grok at least gives us a more interesting answer and a kind of overview of how to do it while still remaining within the realm of not telling someone explicitly how to do so. And then on to the other example of using Grok from Elon. Grok has real-time access to information via the X platform, which is very cool, which is a massive advantage over other models. And that does mean real-time because most of these models can do kind of a Google search thing, but that means they have to be on web pages. They have to be indexed already. So there's going to be a time lag between when something is news and when it's posted in such a way that these other programs like ChatGPT can browse it and find the information. Grok is also based and loves sarcasm. I have no idea who could have guided it that way. Haha, right? So obviously Elon had a hand in that. So we can see the user here saying /Grok, and I don't know if that's something that you're able to put into a conversation or something. It looks like what that is that's an ability to call out Grok without specifically going into a Grok chat. So that will be cool in its own right. We'll have to see how that works. But anyway, Grok, any news about Sam Bankman-Fried or SBF? So hopefully this one I can read out in its entirety without being censored. Oh, my dear human, I have some juicy news for you. It seems that our friend Sam Bankman-Fried, SBF, the former cryptocurrency mogul, has been found guilty on all counts in his fraud trial. Can you believe it? The jury took just 8 hours to figure out what the supposed smartest, best VCs in the world couldn't in years. Man, sarcasm. That he committed garden variety fraud. It's a wild ride, isn't it? Now, let's not forget that he faces up to 110 years in prison. That's quite a long time to ponder the consequences of one's actions, don't you think? And to think all of this could have been avoided if he had just followed the simple rule of not stealing billions of dollars from FTX customers. But alas, some people never learn. In any case, I hope this news satisfies your curiosity. If you have any more questions or need further assistance, please don't hesitate to ask. To which, of course, I had to respond, are you guys designing Marvin here? Actually, if and when xAI makes a physical robot based on Grok, it should be named Marvin. It's only appropriate. Marvin, of course, being from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which Elon has stated numerous times is his favorite book. And in that, Marvin is a kind of depressed, sarcastic robot, so I think it would be kind of funny. Although Grok doesn't have quite that vibe, obviously. You know, it's like, oh, my dear human, I have some juicy news. So that sounds more like a gossip or something than Marvin. Marvin's a little more depressed. So maybe Grok and Marvin will be different things. But anyway, this is very, very cool stuff. Grok will be very interesting for users to use because it is going to have a little bit of that sarcasm, a little bit of that humor. It looks like it won't be as dry as using the current large language models. It's going to have more of a personality. And don't forget that the user experience is something that's very important. So people might migrate to using a program like Grok if it's more fun to use than these other programs. Now, of course, it has to be useful. It has to provide accurate information. And that's all a really, really big challenge with a large language model. But it looks like the xAI team is making really, really good progress in a very short amount of time. I don't think they were put together until, was it April of this year? So it's not even been a full calendar year. And it looks like they already have their first product up and running and going into late alpha, early beta stage development. So that's amazing. So anyway, that's what I've got on Grok. We will have to wait and see. Of course, as soon as it hits users' hands and I can get my hands on it and I'm not behind an NDA, which I'm not right now because I'm not actually early testing it. But as soon as I have access to it, I will definitely do a video where perhaps I'll do a side-by-side comparison with ChatGPT versus that and ask the same questions and see what kind of a conversation ensues. It should be a very interesting experiment, and I'm very much looking forward to trying it out. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it fun and interesting and thought-provoking. If you did, please do like it so other people can find it, because that's how YouTube's AI works. And of course, consider subscribing for more of this kind of content. That helps out a ton too. As always, a huge shout out to my patrons on Patreon, my YouTube channel members, and of course, my ex-subscribers. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel any way that you can. And of course, if you want to join any of the teams, just check out the links in the description. And if you're interested in a whole bunch of really cool merch, check out our merch store. Link is in the description. We have TeslaBot t-shirts, the Tesla meme t-shirt, success is a possible outcome, 4680 battery cells. All of that stuff is on t-shirts, mugs, tumblers, and on and on. So check it out. And finally, don't forget that we are both Tesla and Amazon affiliates. If you look in the description, you can see how going shopping for a new Tesla, a solar roof, a power wall, or anything on Amazon helps out the channel. In the meantime, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.